Hey, overthinkers, it's Zuica.
And Lisa.
So here we are again, ready to spiral and go down every rabbit hole uh, with you about what is wrong, what is right with us, the world, and whatever else we come up with.
All the things. We're here to overthink every little thing. And we
Yeah,
know we have friends out there.
yeah, for sure. They're probably like grabbing on. Yes. Lisa, what do you got for me this week?
Okay, I have a word for you, Zuitza.
Hmm.
My word, which I think is appropriate for this week, is gratitude. What does it make you think of?
Okay. Wow, you're going right in with just like all the feels.
It's Thanksgiving.
It's fine. Yes. Gratitude. Yeah, I think like I have so when I think initially, the first thing that I popped up when you said that was like I have so much
Mm.
to feel grateful for. And then I thought, and I spend so much time paying attention to what I'm lacking or not
Mm.
grateful for. And yet, like, because it's the holiday season, I'm like, yes, there's so much. Like this morning or yesterday, I was putting up, even though it's not time specifically, but like my tree and everything. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so lucky. Look at these lights that are broken and so on and so forth. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I think that, yeah, there's a lot to be grateful for, but I don't always hold that posture.
I love that. I agree, and I think over the years, as my story has gone on, like that's something I've practiced a lot, and so my brain, right? The research is like your brain changes when you practice gratitude because you can then see it. You like see things in your world that you're grateful for, and I feel like it's an automatic almost at this point. Like
Yeah.
I'm just sometimes get overwhelmed by gratitude, and maybe it comes from hard times. I don't know. Like when you go through hard times, and then you practice that. You have a gratitude practice, and it sort of changes the way you think about things. But my question for you today
Uh-huh.
is: can gratitude or a practice of gratitude or reminding people
I'm
about
I'm holding my
gratitude
breath. I need you to understand that, and I'm not sure why. Go ahead. Give it to me. Repeat. I interrupted.
can there ever be toxic gratitude? Can
Oh.
gratitude ever feel toxic to someone? And let me
Oh.
know when you're ready for context.
I like ready for context right now because my mind just went a bunch of different ways. So,
So I think because my brain is wired that way at
mhm.
this point, it wasn't always. Like I think that this has been intentional for me and a good mental health practice. It's been good. But in leadership, sometimes it's so easy to see when there are things that we can be grateful for and we can celebrate. Um, and sometimes when people aren't seeing it, I think that maybe it's appropriate to remind them of everything that we can and should be grateful for, to try to like maybe help them reframe whatever it is that they are stuck about, whatever they're struggling with. And so sometimes because my brain goes there,
Yeah.
I think, well, there's a lot, that we can be grateful for. And I know because positionally, right, when you're a
Yep.
leader, when you're the boss, so to speak,
Yes.
they're not going to say it, but you can see it on their face. It's like, oh my God, like stop right now.
Yes.
And I do not want to be reminded of the things I'm grateful for. I
Yeah.
do not want you to put me in this
Oh,
space. There,
throat punch. Someone wants to throat punch
yeah,
you.
me, yes.
Yes, you. No, I mean you. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it
Um,
made me think of like toxic positivity. Obviously, that's something that we went through with the pandemic, and something that I think leaders are careful, if they're smart, they're careful about, just being positive with no reason. But I think gratitude is a little different than positivity.
yeah.
And I've been wondering about it lately because I don't want to annoy people
Yeah.
with gratitude, but I do think it's healthy and important.
I agree with you. I think we're when we live in a world of more and let's get over there. And once we get over there, then we'll have something to feel gratitude about or happy
Hmm.
about. And I want you to know that when I hear that, I think that sometimes I even find myself frustrated when I feel like we've had a really cool something, right? Whether it's personal or in the job, like let's just use the job example where like the team has done amazing and all of that, and we don't take a beat to recognize that, because then it's like, okay, what's the next thing? And the reality is that what if there was only that, right? Like I like to take a moment, instead of always looking future forecast of where we have to go, or there's so much work to be done. I thought of this because, and here's why. I was journaling about things that like I was looking at old journals and things that were stressing me out like 10 years ago, not even in like not even a minute of taking my thought, but at the time, oh my God, like I was
Hmm.
beyond stressed. And so I do think it has something to do a little bit with this idea of a reframe. We had talked about offline, I wonder, here's my wonder, how much self-awareness is connected to your levels of gratitude, and where like and then you could be self-aware and have gratitude, but if you're dysregulated, I wonder if you're dysregulated, you have more, there's a more toxicity, you're less likely to be filled with gratitude because you're trying to regulate your system, and sometimes the easiest thing to regulate with is what's negative. Not
Good.
regulate, but it's easiest to grab onto. We'll always go to the emotional, like we're not functioning at the front of the brain kind of thing.
Is that true? Like it's for most people, they go to the negative when they're, so talk to me about that, because I think dysregulation is a huge issue
Yeah.
for adults. And I think in schools we focus so much on dysregulated students,
Yeah.
and yet there's no hope for our students if the adults in their lives aren't able to regulate themselves
Right.
and then support the students. So
This is a big passion area for me. But yeah, it is true. I heard someone explain it one time, and I use this examples when I do talks, is that it's like a cell phone that is looking for a signal, and it will grab onto the first signal, the lowest hanging bar. And so you have to remember, when you're dysregulated, you will latch on to the lowest hanging thing. And that's usually where we're trying to protect our ego. So it becomes a
um,
projection, a blame game, or you're right and I'm wrong. And right, gratitude can't live there. Like it's just not. And so I think that it's very hard. I think in today's world, I wonder that if gratitude might feel different because people are just dysregulated, right? There's so much, the world is moving so fast. We're doing 1,000 different things. Like, even I was just laughing with a friend of mine. I had started to do Instacart, and I
love
was I
Instacart.
love
Maybe
Instacart.
they'll be a sponsor of ours one
I
day.
oh my God, one day. I love them so much. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed. But I think why I'm trying to make more time, but then watch what happens. I was watching something. I need to get better at saying who it was, but my brain works so fast. I'm just like, and this one random person I need to give screen
Okay.
credit to, regardless. But when you can, oh, I lost my train of thought, Lisa. I'm so
Instacart. Instacart.
Instacart, you make more time for
Yes.
yourself. That actually does not mean that you will be less dysregulated.
Right.
It doesn't, because dysregulation, right, is like when you are dysregulated, you're completely hijacked, and the work is in the midst of that, is trying to get you in the present, right? So you do things like a lot of us, the deep breathing, but even like one thing is like, can you touch your earlobes or name a color, look around the room for anything that's blue, and it brings your body back to itself, because dysregulation is not for you to calm down, it's for you to realign and connect.
Hmm.
That's what dysregulation actually is. It's when we don't we don't align, we got to get our mind and our body back together. And a lot of people think it's just about calming down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think I thought that too.
yes, it's just different. And
So is
so
it misalignment of expectations or what's happening? So tell me about the misalignment.
yeah, I think a lot of the times what it is you have a posture of uh, you're not dysregulated when something is familiar, right? I think dysregulation happens when it is something that maybe from your youth or whatnot that is familiar, that is a worry. Like if you're more hyper vigilant, or if you're worried about an outcome or getting in trouble, those kinds of things tend to happen. Like, you're dysregulated, like, right? If you see an email and you're like, I got to answer that email right away, right?
Hmm.
Something in your system. Uh, Dysregulation is more about not being comfortable with it's reteaching your body that you are safe to trust,
Okay.
even when other instances maybe you grew up and it wasn't. And a lot of how you do that is you start to try to practice the present. And it's not like woo woo where you're like not trying to feel the emotion. You should, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. You should be able to feel the emotion. It's just that you also have to tell your body to practice to create new neural pathways that it's safe.
Yeah.
So, right, when I go into new events, or we had a conference this past weekend, some of it I don't know where we're going, right? But I have, I always feel like I need to kind of have a baseline, otherwise I check it out. So when I feel dysregulated, all I do is I do the strategy of like, okay, I'm thinking of the color blue, and I
Mm.
find everyone in the place that has blue. So that's not awkward, right? I'm not going to be like, breathe through your nose 5 times and exit.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Okay, so it's making me think about. So my original question is like, I'm wondering now if
hmm
I'm picking up on dysregulation. That's probably
hmm
what's happening, right? When I want to remind someone to be grateful, I
yes.
am actually picking up on their dysregulation, probably. I'm noticing that they are uncomfortable or upset or angry,
Yeah.
and I am feeling like this is not their level of emotion around the thing is
Uh-huh.
not appropriate, like the size of
Yes.
the problem, right? So
Yep.
they're telling me something and they're like, it's horrible, everything's horrible. And I am immediately like, it's not.
It's
Look
not.
around. We have
hmm
a ton of things to be grateful for. So clearly that's not the best
Yeah.
strategy because they can't.
Yeah.
So if I am noticing that about myself, what can I do? What would be the best thing for me to do instead? Because obviously you can't say calm down or like
No.
you're just
Please don't.
dysregulated right now.
Yeah. Let me know how that works out
Dysregulated.
for you. Yeah. Be like, give them a shirt that says dysregulated.
Yeah. So
Uh,
like what is the best thing for me to do at that moment? Should I just shut up and listen? Like what is the best thing for me to, because I also have a real big aversion to like going into the hole with somebody. Like when they're
yeah.
in a hole, I don't want to like, I'll be down there with you for a minute,
Yeah.
but like I got to get myself back out and I'd prefer to get you back out of that hole too. So like
Yeah.
what's the best thing to do?
I think the other thing, yeah, so I think you're right. You can go a little like in the hole, but I wouldn't live there because, like, I've been told you can't do someone's work for them or keep them from their own pain, which, that's really hard to do, especially when
Yeah.
you're a leader, because you want everyone to feel comfortable, right?
Hmm.
But I think, like, for me, I try to create a condition of safety to open it up, but I don't try really hard to convince someone to feel gratitude about something anymore. Because I found myself super, super exhausted. And so I try to create the conditions. I'll validate, and not in an inauthentic way. Like, I find something in their story that is a super truth for them, and I'll say it, right? But then I think it all depends on, you got to pay attention if someone keeps coming to you with that same type of uh I'll say negativity, but let's use dysregulation
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That they're trying to work their own stuff out with you.
Yes.
And and here's what I'm going to say. I am humbled that someone would want to, that I feel that someone feels that comfortable in front of me. However, I've learned, because, right, I'm also a therapist, right, is that the roles must be different. Because when we're leadership in an organization, I can't also serve as someone who's helping you through things.
Right.
As much as even I see it. If I see it, I'm like, oh, and so I think for me is creating the conditions, but I think if people want to feel negative, they're dis it's out of a place. If they're negative out of a place of dysregulation, then yeah, I think you it's more about you getting comfortable with like someone not being able to see the light.
And just being
It's
like,
horrible.
okay, like
It's
that's,
horrible.
yeah. What if
Yeah.
they're just negative to be negative? What if it's not dysregulation? What if that's
Yeah.
their natural state? There are people like that, right?
That's it. And the strategy is run very run like your life depended
What
on
if
it.
I can't?
What?
I think that's, you bring up a great point. It's like sometimes you get uh, somebody else's work, they're putting it on you, right? They want you there to work out their stuff,
Yeah.
and they want you to be a witness to it, or they want you to engage in it because they need someone to engage in it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
am not a therapist.
No.
I can listen, but then I just feel like there's no resolution at some point, and maybe that's what I have to be comfortable with, but just like the so what isn't there
Yeah.
sometimes. So I'll just sit and listen and be like, I'm sorry
Yeah.
that feels really hard.
That's
And
it.
I feel like they get angrier
Yeah.
and not less angry.
Yep.
And then
I
that's just it.
And I think that's the part that's harder is what you just mentioned. If someone kind of still they start to get angrier and then that makes me know that someone has an expectation of me. Then I know they're super dysregulated. And here's why. They're needing something from me that I cannot give them.
Right.
And probably even if I gave them, it's still not good because they're getting it from someone.
Right.
Everything that you need to help yourself it is really within you, right? Like it is. Like people help you along the way and those kinds of things, but I think there's a misconception of there are people, right, who attach themselves to just keep retelling their story,
Mm-hmm.
and they just like, right, they keep reenacting their trauma, and they do it in different ways. It manifests as different pockets of stuff. Today it might be, oh, we didn't get the notes for this meeting. Tomorrow it might be like, oh, I have a situation about this student. But it's all different like circumstances, but it's the same goal of wanting to get something from you. And
And
not.
sometimes that's just an acknowledgement that they've been a victim.
Yes. Yes. And I think like yeah, it's just it's hard because in leadership, I know the way I grew up too, like in an like the capacity of servant leadership, you want to help, but the helping can kill you because you're too accessible for the things that and then you want people to build a capacity. You do want somebody to be able to regulate yourself. I'm gonna be blunt, right? In any workplace, if someone is waiting for the leadership to regulate them, that is not
It's not good.
it's not good. In layman's terms, it's no good. It's no
It's not
good. No
good.
bueno. No
And I
bueno,
feel like
man.
that's a lot of what sometimes people
Yeah.
expect.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, and in schools, it's like, well, we're expected to help students. Well, that's because they're kids. But when
That's
you're a professional in a workplace,
yeah.
you need to be able to regulate yourself.
Yes, and I'm not talking about someone telling someone a story and then getting validated and like kind of
No.
event. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the repeat offenders who are continuously hold this posture of negativity, dysregulation that keep knocking on the door with no change, right? Like sometimes, like when I'm giving therapy, a lot of the times, like, I'll still be talking, but I have clients for a little while that'll just keep repeating their story, and rightfully so, right? They have not emerged to really work through things yet, and they need to tell their story over and over until they're that they can. And the posture is correct. They're doing it with me, right? Like as a therapist.
Yes, that's the right
In
place.
the workplace, it's not the right, we have to differentiate too where we're doing our work and how and who we're telling, right? You telling your boss all the things probably isn't the best idea.
Right. Or your colleagues. I
Or
mean,
your
I've been in that situation as a colleague too. And it's making so much sense to me now when I'm thinking about that because um, I always think people get in habits of thoughts, right? Like thoughts can become habits.
Yes.
And thought patterns can become, just like I said in the beginning, gratitude is a thought pattern for me.
Mhm.
Like the opposite can be true and has been true in my life too. So, like for somebody it's always now I'm like, well, why isn't it? It's just so much easier to be grateful and you feel so much better about
Yeah.
life. And it's like, why wouldn't somebody want to do that or embrace it? But I think what I'm hearing from you is because that changes their story then.
Yeah.
Like it actually changes
Well, that's really
their view of
powerful.
themselves, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't take that on. If I take that on, that means I'm not a
Yeah.
victim, or that means I'm not um, like that means that I have the power to
Yeah.
change my thoughts instead of somebody else, and that's why,
Yeah. And
right?
interesting, I wasn't trying to say that in, but you linked it, is that some of it is their own story and the story that has kept them safe and
Yeah,
attached to someone or connected. It's a false sense of connection, right? If I
yeah,
keep telling my story, and so if you have that and that's all you know and you don't have any other reframe. You see, replacement behaviors, I always say, you do need something else. Like you have to know different. Like if you don't know different, like I laugh, this example, but I grew up Macedonian, man, and my mom growing up, she'd be like, Zuica, you cannot go outside with wet hair, right?
yes,
And
yes.
to this day, I still like
I am
make
not Macedonian, and my
okay,
mother said the same thing.
yes.
So it must
So
have been a thing in,
and
yeah,
totally in our generation, right?
yeah.
But very much so. I still, when I see someone coming in with damp hair somewhere, I'm just like, you're gonna get sick, yo. It's a story I still hold on to. But I think that's the truth is if you're not ready to let that go, because it keeps you with a feeling of like that's the way you're being seen, right? And that's
Yeah.
the way you connect. Who are you to? So, in fact, so when you say people get madder when you say gratitude, it's because you're trying to push without knowing, right? This sense of a new story for them. Like, no, look
Mhm.
at this rose; it's beautiful. Like, and they're not ready to hear that. So,
And that's
it's
not the same maybe with I don't think I would say that's the same as toxic positivity. I'm not feeling that, right? Like I
yeah,
think toxic positivity, there's a differentiator there of like um just constant things are great, things will be fine, we're gonna be great. Like, right, that's a
I
different
worry. Yeah,
thing.
I
Yeah.
worry about that because I mean, Brene Brown talks about it a lot. Like, if you can't feel the bad, you're not going to feel the good, right? And I think that that constantly like convincing yourself, you might be shutting off your body a little bit in
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people who've been go-getters and just chasers and write all this, like I would say toxic positivity, and they crash and burn at some
Right.
point.
Right.
And I'm not saying that for all. Sometimes it works and whatnot, but I don't want to live. I'll speak about myself. I don't want to live like that. Like
No.
there are things where, and I know when I'm in the presence, when I'm saying like I had a bad day, and someone's like, oh, but this, and it's like, no, I don't need you to make me feel better. I just had a bad day, and that's okay, right?
Hmm.
Because we also have to teach our kids this. Because with everything on social media, they only see all the good stuff. And so when they feel bad, they're trying so hard to get rid of it
Right.
when no, like feel your emotion. That's totally appropriate. That's why we're human, you know?
Right.
So,
So I need to stop. That's what
yeah,
I've learned. I need to stop doing that. And
stop or
that's
run. Like,
me being a jackass is
that's it.
really,
Yeah.
that's the end of the story. And truly, like I'm admitting that is a go-to for me sometimes, and I need to
Yeah.
stop that because it helps me
Mhm. But
in
your
an
heart
empathetic
is,
way to understand. Actually, it's a good, it's good. It's an
yeah,
empathy, right? You have
yeah,
to have that. If that person isn't feeling gratitude at that moment or is
yeah,
feeling upset at that moment, I just need to be there with them in that. And if they never come out of it, then I don't want
yeah.
to maybe be there all
But
the time.
it's super awkward sometimes because the part of it is like I always want it tied with a good bow. And when I'm like being like trying to be positive and then it's like and it's not working, then you're just like, okay, high five. I gotta go to my net. Like it
Yeah.
feels, yeah.
And
Hmm.
it makes me think about, even in times when I'm not with someone, for example, that's
Yeah.
feeling this way, but, I might want to start a meeting,
Yep.
with celebrations or gratitude
Yeah.
or finish the meeting that way.
Hmm.
And there's awkward silence. And there are times when I have just sort of been like, okay, nobody's there at this moment.
Yeah.
Nobody's got anything.
Yeah.
So then we just shift to something else. Like, what do you need help with? Or,
Yeah.
because I think just collectively sometimes we get in that mode where we're not feeling it, we're
Yeah.
not grateful, we're
We're not
not.
feeling it. And but I do think with that, there are times where we're not feeling it. But to me, it is a little bit of a red flag. For example, if I'm not feeling it most of the time.
Right.
What I mean is if I feel like I am in a rut or if I see even my team, then to me that is a red flag of right. And I'm not saying it's because I have to fix anything, but right? Is dysregulation or what's going on that like what's everybody talking about or whatnot? Because I don't think, Lise, I don't think that should be the majority of the time. Like that
No,
shouldn't, because that's
and it's
it's
not
not.
in the
Yeah,
situation that I'm in, but
yeah.
it does.
But I think there are people where it is. Some people in leadership.
There's individuals, yes,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But then I just think my mind goes to then as a good teacher, right?
Yeah,
If I do believe that this can change
yeah,
someone's perception or can change someone's experience of life,
yes,
like you want to share that with people.
yes,
And so modeling is like maybe one of the ways that I think about doing that um, and I do it a lot. I talk a lot about what I'm grateful for, and I guess need to just be hopeful that
yeah. I
resonates with
don't.
people sometimes.
I actually don't think you need to, because we've both done a lot of our own work, and I don't think you need to dim your light. I don't. I think that, your light should just be as shine because you've worked for that light. Like, and I think that you show up as who you are, and the hope is someone catches up,
Yeah.
or right eventually sees it. There's been times where I even understood something someone said, and then later I did. Looks like I'm
Yeah.
freezing, but yeah. Uh-huh.
It does look like you're glitching a little bit, but I
Yeah.
love what you said. And I
Yeah.
think you're right. We both talk about that a lot doing our work.
Yeah.
And next time maybe we can dive into how to gently tell someone they need to do some work.
Yeah. So let's that's gonna a different episode. And
That's gonna have to be a different episode.
yes, excellent. Yeah. Well, I'm glad
All
we
right.
chatted on it. Uh-huh. Yep.
I love this one. Thank you. Thank you for
Hmm.
your help.
Ditto.
As
Ditto.
always. All right,
Okay.
overthinkers, we don't want to be the only ones proposing things here that we overthink about. So send us your spirals, send us the things that are keeping you up at night, and we will overthink with you. We will go to places that you can't even believe we go.
Yeah.
So we're going to close all the tabs. Zuica, we're going to close the
I
tabs there.
promise at least a couple for tonight.
Yeah, and or at least a few tabs.
Yeah.
And until next time, just give yourself some grace.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.